planned my outfit specifically to match this wall.
Oh yeah, makes two of us.
Cool. Okay, you're rolling.
Hi there, I'm Chris Rachel Oslin with the Austin Post. We're here at Capital Factory talking to local startups, and we have Andrew with MyTennisLessons.com.
Yes.
So tell us a little bit about MyTennisLessons.com.
Sure. So My Tennis Lessons is an online marketplace for tennis instruction. We hire tennis coaches around the country, and we help them out with their marketing, their billing, their scheduling, and we match them with customers around the country.
What made you think, of all the services people need, it's finding a tennis lesson?
Because I was that tennis coach who was teaching those tennis lessons, and so as I grew out of college, I was teaching lessons to different people in DC, and as it grew over the, let me start over, sorry.
Oh, that's fine. So what made you think, of all the services people out there could possibly need, tennis lessons?
Well, I was that tennis coach that was teaching lessons. Each summer I'd come home from college and I'd teach tennis to different customers in the DC, Maryland, and Virginia area. And I started hiring my friends because I was getting overwhelmed. So that led to one thing, and I started to hire some more instructors in Maryland, Virginia. And then we were like, okay, let's move out to Austin because that's a good place to grow it on a national scale. Let's try to do this nationally, and let's try to really take tennis to the next level.
So you actually started from the instructor point of view, not from the customer point of view.
Yeah, so I would work with hundreds of customers each summer, and I really find out what's their pain points. How do they find me? It's usually Google and looking me up online, and I threw together a website to help all my other friends get together and teach or be a selection in one area, and then that led to me hiring other instructors. So from there, it's like, okay, well, there's obviously a demand for this. Let's try to do this on a national scale.
So at this point, can any tennis instructor that's interested just register with your site to be available?
Yeah, they can apply to be an instructor on our website.
And what sort of, do you do any sort of screening with them?
Yeah, absolutely. And we're not just like the Craigslist for tennis instructors. We want to provide good quality instructors for our customers that are calling in and looking for beginner tennis lessons or Tuesday night clinics with their friends. So we do some background checks and some quality assurance before bringing them onto the website.
Okay. It just seems like an interesting thing to get started as a startup, especially from. Wow, I'm just going to start that sentence all over from the beginning. See, it's not just you
yeah,
do
no,
things. I've been doing this all day, and I still randomly.
Cool.
So let's see. We got real world problem solving. So most of the time when people are starting a company, there's that moment where you take a look at it and go, wait, this is way more than I thought I was getting into. And with something like this, you're starting as a tennis instructor, not as a computer programmer, right?
Yeah, I was 18 years old. My brother.
Had you ever coded a site before or tried to do
No,
startups?
I called my buddy from school who I knew was into computers, and he knew this thing called WordPress, which was a very easy platform to make a couple web pages. And a local baseball academy in town was using this software that could manage the facility. So I sort of put together this WordPress site with this off-the-shelf scheduling software, and I put all the instructors into one organized place where customers can go to book lessons with. So it was just an introduction for me into technology. But
what did you actually majored in?
I did business and economics.
Okay.
So I think I learned more running a business during the summers than all of college, but it was a good experience. I went to the University of Connecticut, played tennis there.
So taking a look at it with that experience, like, I don't know, I'm going to grab a WordPress site, I'm going to grab this other thing. If there's one thing that you could look back on, oh man, if I'd known about that, I wouldn't have done this. What would that if be in your case?
So I'm 24 now, and we have 7 of us full-time here in Austin, and started this 6 years ago. So I think 3 months ago is when we brought on our first full-time developer.
Wow,
so
really?
it would have been nice to have, well, we've learned so much with the hands-on experience, and you learn more than you think you are going to because you have no choice but to tape software products together.
Oh, yeah. Was there any moment when you were doing that and you're like, I don't know if this is going to work?
I don't think it was a doubt whether it was going to work. It's like how effectively can we scale to the entire country if we can't even manage 100 instructors effectively, and we are still writing checks out of pocket. So how do we get all the tools in place to automate our lives pretty much? So that's where we're at now. We want to automate our lives, scale maybe not only into tennis but into other industries, but we're just going on that path of growth right now, and it's very exciting.
If you could take a look at your company from like a cinematic point of view and go, and there was a blooper reel, what would be that the highlight moment of your blooper reel?
Oof. Well, I live in a house with 6 guys.
Oh, wow.
So we all work and live together. We have
So literally your employees all live with you? Like, hey, join MyTennisPro.com and you can have a back room.
And that's exactly what we did. Our full-time developer,
Really?
our full-time developer's on board. They live and eat for free. I call it the My Tennis Lessons Kibbutz program because we all, do the dishes and food and everything's paid for. But we're all living in the same house and working. And we have a female now that commutes up and takes on the customer side of sales. So she gets thrown into the fire every day with 6 guys and a dog, and so it's an interesting lifestyle. In terms of a blooper, I'm not sure what. In terms of running the business blooper,
yeah, for running the business blooper. Like, is there any moment you're like, how did that even happen?
I don't know. I'd have to think a little harder on that, but not so much. Everything's been pretty organized and going forward. Some of the instructors and some of the inquiries we get are hilarious.
Oh, really? Tell me about that.
We get everyone from real estate agents who need some more business in their spare time and want to teach some tennis lessons, and you get some people who are just college kids looking to teach over the summer like I was, and then you get some guys who are in between jobs, don't speak English very well, and send us some very funny pictures along with some very funny stories about them teaching tennis. So it keeps us all entertained every day.
I have mental pictures of what that probably means there.
Yeah, well, we do have some ex-tennis professionals on our site who used to tour around the country playing tennis tournaments, and so we got a whole variety for you to choose from.
So did you ever expect that not only would you run your own business, but that it would be revolving around tennis?
It was an easy transition because I played tennis my whole life.
Yeah.
I grew up in Maryland playing tennis tournaments on the weekends, and I went to college, University of Connecticut, where I played for the Division I men's tennis team there. So it was an easy transition into the business world.
So do the rest of the guys, when you bring them on, like, you know what you've got to do? You've got to learn how to play tennis.
Well, Jesse, one of my co-founders, was one of my teammates my freshman year of college. And then the 2 guys we brought on right after Jesse were also tennis players, coincidentally. Then I had a guy from high school who was backpacking across the country. Not surprisingly, fell in love with Austin, fell in love with my futon for way too long, so I sort of put him to work, and he hasn't left the futon yet, so that's going very well.
Well, great. Let's take a look at how it actually works. We'll get a demo of the product.
Awesome.
And